Come on, just give it a while there. Takes a while. There we go. Now we're booming. I say that a lot of times.
Yeah.
I know it's a force of habit of me that I have at times there. But then again, a lot of time, my computer, it often takes a while for things to get going there. Hello,
Yeah.
lady. Yep. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 28 of Arknolia and the Doctor's Music Memory series here. Actually, 27, I meant to say. My
Right.
bad.
27. That's what
Yeah.
I've got.
Yeah, my bad as well. And this is part three of our look at the 1960s garage rock scene. And there was a lot more that we still haven't even covered yet because so we extended this into three parts here there. So okay, so I once I know in a couple of videos I talked about this being episode 28 and shit like that. So my bad for that. I kind of
Yeah, it
was.
don't matter.
Yeah, no. So how's the weather out there? I mean,
Oh, up until yesterday, it's been, well, but incredibly cold.
I know.
And we had power issues some days, mainly Monday
Yeah.
of last week. We lost power for like 10 hours or something like that.
We lost power. We lost power this past Monday. For about somewhere in around the 11 in the morning there, up to about 2 in the morning there.
Wow.
So but it finally came back on. But the problem was, and this is my issue with some of the Uber drivers. I pointed this out in a couple of videos at a couple of shows there, including Mars Mirrors and Joe Cronin's. My issue is with the Uber drivers not being available on both Monday and Tuesday, and it's like and plus with the shoppers out there, these grocery chains. The people have been just scoffing up all the goods like milk, bread, eggs, and all that stuff there, water, you name it,
Yeah,
soups.
actually, I had those issues myself.
I
So,
know it's like people were treating this like another damn pandemic.
yeah, tried to get a half gallon of milk and couldn't get it.
I know. It's like I guess what it is that the people here in Texas are not used to snow like this. So this is like I stated many times, this is like a shock to their system. So and they're treating this as like, oh my God, it's a catastrophe, such and such and such. But me from Michigan, who dealt with this kind of weather, on a yearly basis, as I stated many times, this is like no big deal to me. You just have to learn to drive carefully when you're on the road there.
Right.
So that's pretty much the sum of it so far there. It was just, to me, it was just an atrocity. To me, it makes me mad because with the pandemic hit last year, people like scooping up all the stuff there, all the goods, all the canned goods, all the bread, all the milk, all the eggs, all the water, everything they could, because they knew they were going to be locked inside. But
Right.
but the thing was, they didn't leave that much consideration for those who are unable to get to those goods.
Right.
And that's my point. People become selfish. They become, like they become greedy. And that's what makes me mad. It's like, oh, fuck the other guy. It's about survival and all that shit there. It's like, come on. No, give it. No, it's not about that. It's about having consideration for others. Like, suppose there was an elderly person out there who needed some milk and eggs and other stuff so they can live off of. And they'd find out
Right.
that and they find out that there's none of that available though because everybody just scoffed the fuck up all this good stuff there.
Yep.
Be considerate, people. That's all I'm asking.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because we've had enough of this selfish bullshit here for God knows how long, man. We just don't need it.
No.
So
Oh,
let's just do that, okay, folks?
sounds good to
Yeah,
me.
and next time there's another catastrophe that happens in this state, be more considerate, folks. Okay?
Yeah. Or
Okay.
anywhere else for that matter.
All right, there. So let's continue our discussion here. For God knows how long,
Okay. The
man.
first band I've got up is not a garage band, but they were around in the 60s, and that's the Association.
Oh, yeah, I remember "Cherish" is one of their big songs there.
Yeah, they. I have a list we'll get to.
I'm never
They have an interesting history if you ever get a chance to read it.
really.
They've had like about 40 members in that band.
Wow, in and
Seems like they
out.
were all, well, yeah, it seemed like they were changing constantly. And it
Wow.
wasn't 40, it's just an expression of mine.
The only group that two groups that I think of that with constant lineup changes would have to be either King Crimson or Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, this band went through a bunch of them too.
Wow.
I don't know the whole history. It's Wikipedia takes up like if there were pages, 3 pages of it.
Wow.
There's a
No,
lot going on,
no surprise,
and I'm
man.
not I'm not sure what it was, but they were a busy band.
I know.
And again, when I talk about my list, these are lists of my favorites and the way I like them,
Uh huh.
and everybody else is welcome to do a list too. I mean,
Yep.
you know, and you can do it on my channel or on Dr. Earl's. It doesn't really matter to me. And I'd like to see them actually, to be honest, because maybe I missed some songs.
Yeah, I know. I'm like I stated many times, I'm unable to do lists because I'm always forgetting this. I'm always forgetting that. And like, for instance, with the Moody Blues album, list of albums that I came up with, it was like, oh God, I forgot about this song. I forgot about that. So that blows my mind. It's like, oh, screw it. I'll just, let Arknolia do a more list better because he does it 20 times better than what I can.
Well, I go through my media player and look at them.
All right.
But for number 10 on the Association, I got a song that's called The Time It Is Today.
Ah,
Can you hear it?
yes, I can.
Number 10, yeah, that was number 10,
All
duh.
right.
Number 9, I got a song called Never My Love, which if you don't know it by the title, you'll certainly know it by the song.
I see there.
Number 8, I know you'll know.
Uh huh. Oh, yeah, we know this one. Great song, by the way.
And then number 7 I got is this one. Everything That Touches You. I guess they're what you called a soft rock band.
Yeah, they're considered sunshine pop, I guess, from California.
I'm not sure where they're from.
I'm sure I have to look it up on the Wikipedia because I'm looking at one of their albums. It was a '69 release entitled "Just the Association," and it's like a real interesting cover there.
Is that the green covered one?
No, it was no, it was it was just simply called "The Association." I remember seeing it at thrift shop one time, and it was like, oh wow, interesting cover here. It's like kind of like Stonehenge in space, spelling out the band's name there.
Oh, yeah, I think that's kind of like not a greatest hits, but come on. There. Here's what I got for number 5 is a song called Time for Living.
Uh huh.
Number 5, I got a song called Windy,
Mm.
which you might know.
I think I've heard this one time.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, man, I remember
Yep.
they were showing reruns of Ed Sullivan on the syndicated show there, and that band was featured performing that particular song.
Yeah. Number four I got called Enter the Young. And number three you're going to know.
Yep. I think I have heard this one before. It's just as well.
Along Comes Mary.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I remember hearing that on a couple times on an oldie station back in Michigan. It was also featured in one of those the greatest hits from the '60s collections that you see on TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was with Cherish, probably their two biggest hits.
Ah.
It was their first two, actually.
Oh wow.
Number
'Cause
two is an interesting song because it's actually an album cut, but I really like it. It's called Requiem for the Masses. Pretty nice song, actually.
it is interesting there.
Yeah. Requiem for the Masses.
Yeah. That record I was telling you about. You ever anybody ever sees this record? It's simply called the Association. It has like I described earlier, the band's name in Stonehenge form on the moon
Yeah.
and a squared shaped Earth on the back cover there. It's the gatefold, and the inside gatefold features a close up of that particular square shaped Earth with the association name. So kind of like in ruins in there and on the top there, with the moon in
Yeah,
the
I
background.
actually had that same album, so I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it is a trip of a cover there. I've always been fascinated with awkward album covers there. Definitely.
Yeah. Then you probably liked Ambrosia's second one.
Oh,
What
I
was the
gotta
name of
check
it?
that out. Of course, we got to
It
get
it
back.
folded out into a pyramid.
Oh wow, interesting.
I can't remember the name of it. And Somewhere I Never Traveled, I think's the name of it.
Oh wow.
It's the
Was
second album,
I was gonna ask if that song "How Much I Feel" was on it, but no, I believe it.
first
That's
album.
the first album. It was called "Life Beyond L.A."
No, that was the third album.
No, that's the
We,
song where.
we'll,
No, I'm talking about the song "How Much
I
I
know.
Feel." That was recorded on that. That was featured on that album, the third album you mentioned,
Oh, you're
"Life
right.
Beyond
Right,
L.A."
you're right.
Yeah, because I
Well,
remember seeing it on the
Holding On to
back.
Yesterday was the one on the first album.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, we're going to cover Ambrosia. That's a band
Yeah.
I respect a lot.
Oh yeah, you got to give it up to the guy behind the band, David Pack. You know, he
Oh,
wrote some
yeah.
damn good songs. I remember "Biggest Part of Me" was played a lot on this jazz station back in Michigan, and a lot of times, you know, and plus I think some R&B group covered "Only
Well,
You're the Only Woman" there, and
yeah.
plus the
And when we
song.
get to the first album,
Yep.
that's one I missed when I was talking about great debuts.
Yeah.
That album is a fantastic debut.
Yep. It is. I can imagine. You know, you got to give it up to that group there, which we will definitely cover later on in our series here. Definitely, most
Yeah, they're
definitely.
early 70s, so we'll get to them. Okay, this was my number one by the Association, which is,
Okay.
from what I understand, it's not a biographical song. It's called Six Man Band.
Yes. Yes. It's up. Hey, there's no water anywhere? No water anywhere. Not gallons, not nothing? The only thing they had was dish soap, and that was at HEB. Hey, no water anywhere? No, water anywhere. 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 No, water anyw I got them. I definitely got cigarettes, eggs, even got some organic white bread and smokes. A moment ago. That's when I came home and had some snacks. Here. Well, I didn't really check. I just have some. Right. Just had a candy bar on the way back, and that was about it. And I got some little Debbie's with me. It was 195 before I ate and had it out. That was it. No, I didn't, because it was only a short time that I was out. I came back before at 5 p.m. I wasn't driving. No, why? Oh, no. No,
Family stuff.
here, I never used it. All right.
You guys got to hear some
Sorry about that.
family stuff.
What's up? Sorry
I
about that.
told
I
everybody,
had a conversation with my brother-in-law there. He wanted to
oh, I
find
know
out a couple.
we were cool.
All right,
I just
so.
tell them I got a chance to hear a little personal family stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. It's
It's
it's a little bit there, so it's all good there, folks.
yeah, that song I was talking about was from what I understand, is an autobiographical song because it's kind of about the group.
Ah.
It's called Six Man Band.
Which is what the members of the association had, a sixth group, six
At that
members.
time, I think they've changed slightly
Wow.
it, as it went along. Sometimes they had five, sometimes they had eight. Whatever. They changed a lot.
Wow. You know those little shirts that they have all the. I think I mentioned this before. Regarding band
Yeah, but
members.
yeah,
Yep, like they did with Keith and Carl and Greg. And I mentioned all the members of King Crimson. They could probably do that with both Jefferson Airplane and the Association.
yeah, just numerous shirts.
Oh yeah,
Of course,
that's
next group we want to talk about, other than a couple of guys, pretty much did a lot of change too.
yep.
The Birds.
Oh yeah, David Crosby's old band.
Yeah, their one constant more than any other was Roger McGuinn.
Oh yeah, because he pioneered the 12-string electric guitar.
Yeah, and they were good about wanting to do Dylan covers
Yeah,
more or less. They didn't do all Dylan covers, but they did a
but
lot of.
yeah, because they were big fans of Bob Dylan. And the story was that there was this one performance where Dylan came out playing with an electric guitar, and the audience booed him at that time because folk music and acoustic guitars were the thing around that period. And I guess
Right.
McGuinn was in that audience, and that kind of inspired him, with the idea of playing folk music on the electric guitar in a more rock and roll style there.
Yeah, they were real good at it, and they varied their a lot with their. They dabbled in a lot of styles. They
Yeah.
did folk. They did a little psych music, which we'll get to that,
Yep.
and they did some country
Yeah.
and some gospel. I mean, they did a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. That's good to know there.
And this is what I got at number 15, which you've heard by them and probably a couple other groups.
Let me guess. 8 Miles High, right?
No,
Oh. Oh my goodness. So you want to be a rock and roll star? Holy cow, man.
yeah, they were the originators of that song.
Yeah, I know. Because I remember the Patti Smith group recorded that song on one of their earlier albums. I heard that. It was just like, boom. Their version basically was one of those blast your speaker out type of versions there. It was massive, dude.
And there were a couple other people that did it too, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my
Tom
head who.
Petty and the Heartbreakers for their
Yeah,
live
that's what I was
album.
thinking
Yep.
of. Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking of. So
Yeah,
that
there was a live album he put out called Pack Up the Plantation that did their version
right,
of that track there.
yeah. And number 14, I got a song you may or may not have heard. Great harmonies for those groups.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, Crosby was still in the group at this time.
Yep.
Number 13, I got, oh, you've heard this one.
Oh yeah, great song.
Dylan cover.
None. Turn, turn, turn.
No, Mr. Tambourine Man.
No, that's fuck. I got confused. My bad, folks, because they often started with the same type of playing there
Yeah,
with the introductions.
yeah, he likes that 12 string.
Yep.
And this is what I got at number 12. A song called It Won't Be Wrong. And this one I've got at, I think I'm to number 11. And this is one you mentioned a while ago, written by Pete Seeger, actually.
Ah. Yep. Turn, turn, turn. Great song there from him.
Okay.
Of course, Pete Seeger, one of the original folk icon musics from the, I guess, the 1960s. I guess it was,
Yeah,
and
well,
earlier
actually,
before that.
50s.
Oh wow.
He goes back in the 60s and 50s. He'd been around a while.
And
And
I guess he passed away in what year? I guess it was because I heard about him.
I honestly don't know.
I think he did an album with Arlo Guthrie at one point. I guess if I'm correct.
That's quite likely because Arlo did a lot of stuff with a lot of people.
Of course, Arlo being the son of Woody Guthrie, the people's poet of the people, there as he was known as.
Yeah. Okay, number 10 is a song which we sort of discussed last time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Birds song. Ballad of Easy Rider.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, that's right, man. I remember that. Like I said, I had the soundtrack to that movie there. I never really saw the movie in its full prime, but
Yeah, you
I,
got to watch that. I actually went to the theater to see that one.
yeah.
Interesting movie, to say the
Hmm.
least.
Yep.
Okay, I think I'm at number
And
9.
even more interesting soundtrack.
Yeah, good soundtrack. My number 9 is another Dylan composition, their version of it. They do it great. Do you recognize it yet?
Not really, no.
It's all over. It's all over now, baby blue.
Ah, I don't think I've heard either version of that track there.
And I think I'm at number 8. Yeah, this song you've heard covered by at least one other band that I can think of off the top of my head, but this is their version, and I believe it is the original. Gene Clark wrote it.
Ah,
No, I'm sorry. It's not. It doesn't have who's listed, but you'll know the song.
all right.
Doobie Brothers covered this song.
Jesus is just all right. Well, oh my goodness. Wow.
Yep.
Interesting. I think
And
and I was wondering. I know the Doobie Brothers did a cover of another song, the do do wah. I think it was a soul cover. I think it was they did.
I probably, but we'll get to the Doobie Brothers.
All right.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about there.
Okay. Yeah.
That's another band that went through some significant
I
changes.
know from just basic rock, to the kind of like with the feel with the soul when Michael McDonald joined the group there.
Yeah, he kind of changed the dynamic
Yeah.
somewhat.
And which and that dynamic change led him to a lot of good success when you think about
Yeah,
it.
of course they had a lot of success early too.
Yeah.
Okay, number 7 is a song called "Set You Free This Time." Number 6 is long been considered the ultimate breakup song.
Wow.
I feel a whole lot better when you're gone.
Oh shit. That was one
Number
of the significant FU songs around that period, I take it there.
Oh yeah, because this one they called kind of the ultimate breakup song. Listen to it, listen to the words. It's definitely a
Wow.
breakup song.
Okay there.
Okay, the fifth one I got is actually the flip side of Mr. Tambourine Man, and personally I liked it better. Obviously, it was a Gene Clark song,
Yeah.
number called "I Knew I'd Want You." Number four is,
Hmm.
I guess, in a sense, is kind of an interesting song because it's kind of, I think I'd consider it country, but I don't know where it really goes.
Hmm.
It's a song called Chestnut Mare,
Ah.
but he's kind of telling a story about catching a horse. Nice little song. Number three I got is a Dylan cover that's been done by a lot of people, actually. And they really use the fuzz on this one,
Yeah, I hear it there loud and clear.
called This Wheel's on Fire.
Oh, I don't think I heard that one.
You might have heard it by Julie Driscoll.
I don't think I've heard of him either.
That's a girl. It's got kind of an interesting ending.
Wow. Sounds like one of those slide
Oh,
guitars.
it's not done.
Oh, wow. Hmm.
Kind of delves a little bit into psychedelic.
Hmm. It's kind of hard to hear at this point.
Yeah, it's just doing some stuff with the guitar, I guess. And number two is a song that actually, from what I understand, this song and Marrakesh Express and the story behind them are the
Hmm.
reason that Gene Clark left the group.
Oh, really?
Not Gene Clark,
David Crosby.
David Crosby,
Yeah, because
because
remember.
he wanted not Marrakesh Express, Triad. He wanted to put Triad on one of their albums, and they said no, we're going to do this one. And actually, I like this song. It's one called "Going Back."
Ah.
It's a nostalgic song. Like I said, to me, they have beautiful harmony. And number one, you've heard.
All right. Oh yeah, this is the one I was thinking of.
This is their delve into psychedelia.
Oh yeah. Yep, 8 Miles High.
I don't know why, but I've always loved that song. And again, the Byrds, another interesting history.
Yep.
If you want to get into the,
I want to talk. Wasn't Graham Parsons a member of that group for a while, long while?
I think he was for a little while. Then
Yeah.
he went on to what was the name of it? McFlying Burrito Brothers.
Funny. I think I remember that. I remember they had a song on the Easy Rider soundtrack at one point, I guess.
Yeah, and I think they didn't he end up dying in the desert or something like that.
There was a lot of. From what I understand, I should probably look him up there. So we're on the subject of this guy here.
But I think that's what I remember is him dying in the desert or something.
All right, then.
It's a
Let
really
me.
unusual story. I know that.
Okay, let me look it up on the Wikipedia. I got his story here on the his death here. What's going on? Flying Burrito Brothers. Blah blah blah. Toured with Emmylou Harris. Okay, okay. He became okay. According to this, in the late '60s, Parsons became he became enarmed of and began to vacation in Joshua Tree National Park, which was then a national monument in southeastern California, where he frequently partook in psychedelics and reportedly experienced several UFO sightings. After splitting with somebody whose name is Burrow, who I don't know, is probably his girlfriend, I guess, at the time, he often spent his weekends in the area with Margaret Fisher, Phil Kaufman, who he had been living with. He was scheduled to resume touring in October 1973. He decided to go on another recuperative excursion on September 17th. Accompanying him was, of course, Fisher, personal assistant Michael Martin, Dale McElroy, his girlfriend, Martin's girlfriend, and Kaufman later declared that Parsons' attorney was preparing divorce papers for him to serve to Burrell while the singer remained in Joshua Tree on September 20th.
Wow.
I guess he was going to divorce his wife at that time. During the trip, Parsons often retreated to the desert while the group visited bars in the nearby hamlet of Yucca Valley, California. On both nights of their stay, Parsons consumed large amounts of alcohol, barbiturates. On September 18th, Martin drove back to Los Angeles to resupply the group with marijuana. That night, after challenging Fisher and Mick Elroy to drink with him, Fisher didn't like alcohol, and Mick Elroy was recovering from a bout of hepatitis. He said, "I'll drink for the three of us," and proceeded to drink 6 double tequilas. Then
Oh gosh.
he returned it to the Joshua Tree Inn, where Parsons purchased morphine from an unknown young woman. After being ejected by her in room number one, he OD'd. Fisher gave Parsons an ice cube suppository, and then later a cold
No.
shower, and
Suppository. Yeah.
suppository, yes. And instead of moving Parsons around the room, she put him into bed at room 8 and went out to buy coffee in hopes of reviving him, leaving McElroy to stand watch. As his respirations became irregular and later ceased, McElroy attempted resuscitation, but her efforts failed, and Fisher, watching from outside, was visibly alarmed. After further failed attempts, they decided to call an ambulance, where Parsons was declared dead on arrival at Yucca Valley Hospital at 12:15 a.m. on September 19, 1973. The official cause
Oh
of death was an overdose of alcohol and morphine.
man.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of. I knew it was an unusual story, but I wasn't sure exactly what the story was.
Wow, man. And there's a memorial to him in Joshua Tree, California, just as well. I see the little picture there with a kind of like a acoustic guitar, I guess you could say, there next to a bunch of flowers.
Yeah. And did it mention that he was in the Birds for a while?
Yes, it did. Yes,
Okay.
he was
Yeah.
from the
I'm not
Birds.
sure.
Birds from 1968. He came to the attention of Chris Hillman, the Birds bassist, and their business manager, and he following the departures of David Crosby and Michael Clark from '67. He became acquainted with Hillman since the pair had met in a bank during the in 1967. And in February 1968, he passed on audition to the band as recruited as a jazz pianist, but then switched to rhythm guitar and vocals.
Yeah.
So he was a member of the group. He was an official member of the group around that period there.
Yeah, he kind of, in a sense, replaced Crosby.
Yeah. And that other guy who's I just mentioned there is just
Michael
as well.
Clark.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. Gene Clark was one of their main guys early in the group. In fact, he was supposed to be the heartthrob or whatever, lead singer.
Huh.
And he was only on like the first two albums, or maybe
Really?
the third one.
Maybe.
But he had a fear of flying.
Oh wow.
And had to leave the band.
I see. Because a lot of that times, bands had people who were on tour had to take flights or trains and such.
Right.
And they still
they
do
didn't
it
all
to this
have
day. Yeah.
buses.
Yeah.
Some of them have buses, but not a lot of them.
Yeah, that's true there.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that's one of the slowest ways to get somewhere. That's why a lot of groups fly, I think.
Yeah. Especially when they got performances in other countries, or they need to make this particular venue at this particular state in a least amount of time there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I guess we'll jump around a little bit because we didn't really cover Bob Dylan.
Ah, yeah, that's right. We never did.
And considering the fact that he wrote tons of songs, a lot of people do.
Yep.
He's worth a mention.
He is, because he's still credited today as inspiration for all the others, like the Byrds for one, John Mayer, and a couple others there.
Yeah.
Hendrix definitely loved him. He covered two of his Dylan songs there, All Along the Watchtower and Like a Rolling Stone for the Monterey Pop Festival compilation.
Yeah. And I have a top 15 of my own list for him.
Ah, nice.
And the first song is going to be kind of unusual. And pretty much I think all these are written by Dylan.
Yep.
Girl from the North Country.
Mm.
You recognize that singer?
I don't think I have, no.
He did this with Johnny Cash.
I think you mentioned about that a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yep, I hear him. The Men in Black.
And number 14, you know, because you just mentioned it.
Yep.
Along the Watchtower.
Yep.
I prefer Hendrix' version.
Yeah, we all, who does? Who doesn't?
A couple other people covered it too, Dave Mason being one of them.
Yeah.
Number 13, Tonight I'll Be Staying Here With You. Number 12 is another song we heard just a few minutes ago.
Yep.
This is his version of Mr. Tambourine Man.
Yep.
And the next one is one of his social, I don't recall what you call these songs, but kind of like, hey, this was wrong.
Protest song?
Yeah. You'll know in a minute, I think. Hurricane.
Ah.
It's a song about Hurricane Carter. It's a good song.
Hurricane Carter. This was a protester, I think it was.
No, this was a boxer that was accused, apparently unjustly, of a crime, and he was a he he was a boxer and could have been very good, but instead he ended up in jail
Wow.
pretty much for the rest of his life for something that a lot of people don't think he had anything to do with. Just
Wa-
caught up, just got caught up in a bad circumstance.
Wow.
Stance.
Wow. So the
But it's
innocent goes. So the innocent goes to jail while the guilty goes free. That's the
that's pretty
basis
much
of
what.
that. That's the basis of that song there.
Yeah, it's pretty much trying to tell the story. It's about
Wow.
8 minutes long, but it's a good listen. If
Wow.
you get a chance, look it up. Hurricane.
Okay, gotcha. Definitely.
Next one I got on my list, and I don't recall the number I'm at. I think I'm at number 10. Is called Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. Number 9 I got called Stuck Inside of Mobile with the Memphis Blues Again.
Ah.
And number 8,
Mhm.
I'll Be Your Baby Tonight.
Wow.
Trying to get to the. Okay, I think I'm up to number 7. This one you might know.
Mhm. Oh yeah, Subterranean Homesick Blues.
Yeah,
Probably iconic video for that song. At that time, it wasn't really called a video. It was like a promo film, I guess it was, where he's just holding the signs with all the lyrics on it. It's some back alleyway there. I think you remember In Excess repeated the
they did
same.
it. Yeah, they did the same thing
Yeah, for
essentially.
the at the end of Need You Tonight and the song Meditate, which they mix in together.
Yeah, and I think number 6 you'll also recognize.
Yep. Oh yeah. Kind of like a
Like a
warning. Yep. Kind of like a warning for someone out there that's heading towards a path of destruction there, and they're not realizing it.
Yeah, and number 5 I don't know if you've heard this one or not. It's called Tangled Up in Blue.
Ah. Interesting.
And number 4 I got is a song called I Want You. Number 3 you might know.
Yeah. Right.
Lay Lady Lay.
Oh yeah. I was thinking that when this song, if this song was going to be on the list here, I remember the group. You heard of the band, the industrial group Ministry? They did their cover of this song on an album that theirs called Filth Pig in '96. That was often played at the Leland City Club in Detroit there around that time there.
Yeah, and on guitar this song's kind of interesting because it travels up the fret and changes chords on the each fret as you travel up.
Ah,
It's an interesting song to try to play.
oh yeah, interesting there.
And number 2 is, I guess, what you call an ultimate put down song.
I remember this one here.
Positively 4th Street.
Yep. Probably one of the first diss tracks that emerged around that period.
Yeah,
Next to
because this
that one,
definitely,
next to that one that you played from the Birds.
yeah, and this one really was a put down song.
Oh man, I remember hearing it on his greatest hits record, and I was like, "Holy cow, boy, he was going off."
Yeah, he wished for. Let's see, what was the line? I wish that for one time you could stand inside my shoes, so you could see what a drag it is to see you. And I thought, oh, that is a cool verse.
Oh man, damn. I wonder who he was directing it towards. Somebody who screwed him over, I
I
think.
don't know. I think it was kind of generic,
Mm,
but a lot of times those songs aren't. And my number one, you're bound to have heard.
yep. Oh yeah, we know this one. Yep. Knocking on heaven's door.
Yeah, always love that song.
Oh man. And that song, imagine all the royalties Bob Dylan has gotten from Guns N' Roses doing that song almost every night in their shows.
Yeah, and that song is actually from the movie The Ballad of Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, I believe is the name of it.
Oh yeah, interesting there. And here's something regarding Guns N' Roses. They originally did that song as a tribute to a friend of theirs named Todd Crew, who had passed away. And remember, it was recorded on their Live at the Ritz show from MTV around '88 there. And so they did that song as a tribute to him. And wouldn't you know, years later down the line to this day, it's regarded as a GNR standard.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah,
Um, I prefer the Dylan version, but that's
yeah,
me,
yeah, but
personal taste.
yeah. Either way, it's a good song there. It's kind of like
Oh yeah,
a very good song.
yep. And then one more. I think we got time to get to them.
Good, good.
Uh,
Yep.
the Grassroots.
Oh yeah, I've only heard about this group a couple times here and there, but I never really heard any of their stuff. I just mostly heard the name there. So
I think
this
you'll
is like
recognize a few of those.
this is definitely an educational spot for me, definitely.
I think you'll recognize a few of them.
All right.
Okay, here's what I got for number 15. A song called Bella Linda.
Ah,
And number 14 I got is a song called Tip of My Tongue. And number 13 is a song called Midnight Confessions you may have heard.
all right. I think I have, yeah. Dun, 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 in the beginning there, right?
Yeah.
Ah,
And number 12 I got is a song called Feelings. Hear a little fuzz guitar in that one.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Number 12, I think. Come on and say it. No, it's number 11.
All right.
Number 11, you may or may not have heard.
Okay.
I'd wait a million years. Number, I lost track. 10?
I think it was 10, yes.
Okay, this will be number 10. The River's Wide.
I see. Good stuff there.
Yeah, and number 9 is a song called Wake Up, Wake Up, which is basically about getting the girl to, you know,
Sleep with them.
pretty much say, you can kind of hear it there, can't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. It's their kind of like their version of "Come On, Eileen," and we know the concept of that song. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the next one, I lost my number, uh, is a was their first hit. A song called "Where Were You When I Needed You." You may have heard of other groups.
I think I have.
I think the Bangles covered it.
Mm.
I think it was the Bangles. And then number 5,
All right.
no 6, a song called "Here's Where You Belong." Number 5 is kind of a gritty song for them. It's called "House of Stone."
All right.
You hear what the guitar's doing?
Yes, I hear.
That's got some neat things going in that song.
Yeah, definitely. I hear them loud and clear there.
"House of Stone."
Nice.
And number 4 is a song called "Things I Should Have Said Today." You probably have heard this one.
I think I have. May have been on that oldie station that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. But that song does some interesting stuff too.
Ah.
Number 3 is a song called "Melody for You." And number 2 is another kind of gritty song for them. It's called "Hot Bright Lights," which got an insane break in it. It's about 5 minutes long.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
This is kind of where the break starts.
Mm-hmm.
You need to pull that up sometime and listen to it all the way through. The break is insane.
Okay, definitely. And the name of the song again is what?
Hot Bright Lights.
Hot bright lights. Somebody got to look it up. That's for sure, man. Definitely.
My number one, if you haven't heard, I don't know where you've been. Let's live for
Live for
today.
today. That's, oh my goodness gracious. Yes, I remember this one a lot of times. This is one they play on the at either the oldie stations or the satellite at the thrift stores there here in
Oh yeah,
Texas.
probably what I would consider the grassroots biggest.
Their biggest songs, yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, definitely.
It grassroots are another group that's got an interesting history.
Yeah, really. So, but we should probably look up on the Wikipedia to find out any all the details about them because there are a lot of these groups had some lot of interesting things about them that we don't really know about there. So, it's definitely once in a while to definitely take a look at their history.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because sometimes it'll be like, whoa, I didn't know that.
yeah. Because you never know.
We got time for one more? Yeah, we got time for one more.
Yes, we
I
do.
got
Yes.
the next group is an interesting one. It's got a interesting background.
Uh huh.
The Lovin' Spoonful.
Oh my goodness gracious. We know a couple of their songs are definitely John Sebastian at the Boys.
Yeah, and they were tight with the Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah. Well, there were a lot of those bands were tight with one another there.
Yeah, and they were all from, I think they were California based.
Yeah, there were a lot of yeah, them and the Grateful Dead, the Mamas and the Papas, Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah, yeah. And I got a top 10 on them. And number 10 I got is a song called
You Believe in Magic.
Yeah. And the number 9 is a song called She Is Still a Mystery.
Mm.
They were considered folk.
Psychedelic folk, but pop rock at the same time.
And they did a lot of different things. This is what I got for number 7.
All right.
8, excuse me.
All right.
Six o'clock.
Wow.
And this is my 7th one, which is kind of a delve into country.
All right.
Nashville Cats.
Oh, nice.
And number 6 is a song called You Didn't Have to Be So Nice.
Mm. I heard this one before, yes.
Yeah.
I remember that hook very well, definitely. I just didn't know the title of it.
Yeah. Number 5 is another one you should know, possibly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. What a day for a daydream.
Yeah. And number 4, I think I'm at number 4. I've got a song called Did You Ever Have to Make Up Your Mind? Which is about conflict between women. I mean, your own personal conflict between women.
Yep. Kind of like a disgruntled letter to them.
Yeah.
All you women with your drama and your issues, blah, 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 and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's talking about he's, I guess, yeah.
Yep.
It's an interesting song.
Yep.
And number 4, I don't know if you hopefully have heard this one.
Oh, who hasn't? Somewhere in the City.
Yeah.
What are the
And
biggest songs there when you think about it there?
yeah. And number two, I got another one that's always liked this song. I don't know why.
Yep.
Rain on the Roof.
All right.
I rewrote the first verse when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Never got around to rewriting the second part, but it was a kind of a parody.
All right.
It was chicken roast beef steak on a plate,
Wow.
caught up in a swirl of action. Eating it is whoever's reaction,
Wow.
and drinking sodas gives it traction going down my throat.
So it was your parody of that particular song you just played there.
Yeah,
I see there.
someday I'll have to finish that song.
It was kind of funny. So an old buddy of mine, the old neighbor when we lived in Roseville, came up with his own little parodies there. He remember Joan Jett's "I Love Rock and Roll." His
Oh
was
yeah.
"I Love Beer and Pot."
Oh man. Number one.
Yep.
Whoops. Darling, be home soon.
All right.
I kind of hope I'm kind of getting your, you
Interesting.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. That one grassroots song definitely sounds enticing to listen to there. That's for sure.
yeah, it's like I said, go back sometime and
Hmm.
listen to some, well, when you get a chance to.
All right. Definitely.
And I don't know, do we have time for one more or just go
Yeah.
ahead and talk about something else?
I think we have time for one more. Then we'll get to the other discussion about Manson here. Go ahead and go right ahead, dude.
Okay, well, we got more to cover after this, but
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
trying to get as many of them to go as we could.
Okay.
I just have to get my hand on my little list.
All right.
But it's a group you may have heard of, the Monkees.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember watching the show. I had the first record they had. Around the same time I had the Easy Rider soundtrack there. And I guess I've mentioned this a couple of times before. They were often considered one of the original first boy bands out there. They were put together by a lot of TV producers. They were modeled after the Beatles, after the success of A Hard Day's Night and their music careers. And basically, it was about this band, four guys, trying to make it into the music scene there and trying to make it big and having all these chaotic things that happen you know
And the cool thing about them, it was they were formed not knowing each other and all of that
yeah,
to play these parts. They worked real hard at what they were doing and got to be a good band. I
that's
mean,
right. and
it's incredible.
and
The
for any,
first album, they didn't play their own instruments. Okay,
yeah,
everybody
that's
knows
yeah,
that.
we know that, yes.
But everyone beyond that, they were playing their own stuff because they wanted to.
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
wrote their own songs. They got into it heavy.
Yes, they did, and the reason why they were not able to, because it was on the schedule they do between, they were making the songs, they were filming the parts for the TV show there, and that man
Right.
behind that would John Kirshner, as we know, would later go on put together John Kirshner's The Midnight Special, even a record label of his called Kirshner Records, which we signed the band Kansas, believe it or not,
Yeah, which,
and what we
well,
all know, and we
we'll
know
spend,
this, and we all know the main songs from Kansas, definitely for Shizzle.
we'll spend some time on those guys because that's your biggest American prog rock back
That's
group
true,
by a
yeah,
whole
absolutely. And they're still
count.
together, by the way, but just not without some of their members, including Steve Walsh, your frontman.
Right, and I don't think they have Kerry Livgren anymore.
I know. Oh, he
He
left a
wrote
long
most
time,
of their stuff.
including Dust in the Wind.
Yeah, he wrote most of their early stuff.
Yeah, kind of funny. So like going back to the monkeys, they wanted to do their own stuff. They wanted to. I guess what the story was that they finally got creative control because when they didn't have that when they first started out. As I mentioned, because they
Right.
had to do all this, they had to do all that, and there's a limited amount of time between production of the TV show and the records there, because time was very scarce at that point. But when they
Yeah,
finally got to creative control, they found out what it really takes to make a record, and it took a lot longer, and the process took a little longer as well. But then again, they came up with some real good gems there.
yeah, because once they learned their craft and they started working together, they did some great songs. I mean, some of the songs in the first couple albums are okay, but man, after that, wow.
I think one of their albums, I think, was called Capricorn, PCs, and
Oh,
Jones
yeah,
Limited. That was the first rock album to feature a synthesizer on that album.
yeah, and we'll get to that song. Um, it was Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones Limited.
Okay, there.
Okay, number 20, I've got the song called The Door into Summer.
Mm.
And that's,
Michael Nesmith.
yeah,
Well, you got to remember, he later put together a video cassette called Elephant Parts back in the early 80s there, which like won a couple awards there. And one of his videos featured an early Hulk Hogan, believe it or not.
it was a guy that looked like Hogan. It wasn't Hogan, though.
Oh, really? It wasn't? Wow. I could have
But I
sworn
know the
that.
song you're talking about,
Yeah,
Cruising.
yes. And that was when
And,
MTV was just starting out, when it was really
well, actually,
MTV.
that kind of invented MTV.
Yeah, it helped them. Yeah.
Yeah, because he did it before MTV, actually.
Oh, wow.
Number 19, let's see if you recognize this singer. Cuddly Toy,
Cuddly Toy. I don't think I heard
Davy
it.
Jones.
Davy Jones. I think I remember the Brit. By the way, you got to remember was the main reason why David Bowie changed his name to Bowie, as you know, because Bowie was originally named
Davy
David
Jones.
Jones. Yes, and plus he already released an album of his own prior to joining the Monkees. Believe it or not, there.
Yeah, yeah. Number 18, oh, you might have heard this song.
Right. Yep. And for what I understand, this was an anti-war song, according to Mickey Dolenz in an interview.
Yeah, and that's Dolan singing.
Yep. Mickey Dolenz. Yep.
Okay, number 16 was actually released at the same time as another group.
Oh, I've heard this song. We know this one. I think the Sex Pistols covered this one time.
They released it at the same time as Paul Revere and the Raiders, I think
Oh my!
simultaneously. And
Wow.
this one was a way bigger hit.
Yeah. In fact, the Detroit band Seduce, they did their version a couple of times when we saw them in the '80s. There.
Yeah. Number 16, I think I'm at.
Yep.
It's a song called Shades of Grey.
I don't think I remember hearing this one, so I
You probably haven't, may have heard it. I don't know.
may have. Just been so long.
And number 15 I got is another Nesmith, written by Michael Martin Murphey.
Oh.
What am I doing hanging around?
Oh. If I understand, Nesmith is from Texas as well.
Yes,
Ah.
absolute.
Yep. You can hear that Texas influence in his words and music there, and his sound, and the way he writes and performs his songs there.
Number 14 is a song that didn't get a lot of airplay, I don't think, but Mickey Dolenz does it, and man, this is reminiscent of the 50s scat stuff. It's a song called Going Down.
And this features a horn section.
I think so.
Because I think I remember hearing this while watching the program one time.
Yeah, it does have horns, but
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
and you can hear him doing that.
Yep,
Dolenz.
yep. You got to give that guy credit because he was
Oh
always one
yeah.
of the wackiest of the foursome there.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, and he went on to become a director in England. I guess he directed a few TV shows over there, as what I understand.
Yeah, I wish we had a chance to do our TV things again because there's a couple of shows I would really have loved to
Yeah,
cover with you.
probably.
One called one called The Prisoner
Mm,
that I don't know if you ever saw it with Patrick McNee. It's a British show. I think I don't. There wasn't a lot of episodes, it's like 20 or something like that.
oh,
But it's a very involved story and it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I mean,
all
it's
right.
a continuous thing.
Like a mini
But it was a very
series.
good. Yeah, look up The Prisoner when you get a chance on
All right.
Wikipedia off time.
Okay, definitely. I will.
Next one I got is a song called Words, which is Davy Jones and Peter.
All right. I remember this one as well. Yes.
And the next one was written by Neil Diamond.
Well, we know this one. And by the way, I did not care for the Smash Mouth version for the record there.
Now,
No.
sometimes the original's the only one that you want to really fool with.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, Smash Mouth did not do that. But then again, I don't care for Smash Mouth in general. I thought they were,
Yeah,
they're one of those bands like Sugar Ray. They started out to be alternative punk, and they ended up, being swayed over to the adult contemporary side, the VH1, old soft rock kind of crowd there.
yeah. Number 11, another Nesmith song.
Remember this one as well. Yep.
You Just May Be the One.
All right.
And number 10 featured the kettle drum, which you don't hear often.
All right.
You hear it now. Dolenz.
I think I heard this one. Yes.
It's called Randy Scouse Get.
All right.
Now you know it.
Yes, I do. Definitely.
And the Monkees had a lot of good songs. Next one was this one. I think this is Nesmith again.
All right.
Love is Only Sleeping.
Ah. Yep, I remember this one as well, man.
And the next one you probably know. Another Nesmith song.
Right.
Do you know it yet?
I don't think I do. No. I think it's maybe.
Listen, listen to the band.
Listen to the band.
And the next one I got is, I believe this is a Davy song. A little bit me, a little bit you.
Yeah, I remember this one definitely.
And the next one is from their movie. It's a song called Porpoise Song. It's kind of out there a little bit.
Right. Yep.
And let's see, leave them at 5, which is a song we kind of touched on a minute ago.
All right.
Daily Nightly.
Hmm.
First use of a synthesizer in a rock song. And it was the Beatles. No, not the Beatles. They beat the Beatles.
Yep. Because I remember Rhino Records reissued their whole catalog back in 1986 when the Monkees revival was running rapid, thanks to their episodes being shown on MTV that year.
Yeah. But this song's got a lot of the synthesizer floating through it.
Yep.
And number 4 I got. It's kind of similar to Listen to the Band. A song called Circle Sky. Nesmith again.
Yep. It was one. Him and Peter Tork were one of the two of the prime musicians of that group. I definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm number 3.
Definitely. Yep. I heard this one as well.
Number 2.
Oh man.
I
Daydream
don't know why, but I
Believer.
just love this song.
Yep.
In fact, when I was in the band, we played this song.
Yeah. Did you ever hear the '86 remix version with more drums?
No, I haven't.
There was, Arista Records put it out a compilation of their stuff. It's kind of remix, kind of
Wow.
some of their songs were remixed because on the original there you hardly hear the drums. And
Yeah.
what some producer who was I don't know, they decided to add a lot more clear drum sound, a new drum track for it. And it was a big hit on MTV for a long while. They just
Yeah. Okay.
took that. No, go ahead.
Number 1.
All right. Or this one definitely. Pleasant Valley
There's some,
Sunday.
yeah, there's some real good work in that song.
And by the way, for what I understand, according to Nesmith, that song, they describe a pleasant Sunday afternoon in the suburbs and stuff. Mm-mm. Nesmith stated that song was about a mental institution.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
news to me.
it was definitely to me as well. It's like, holy cow.
Yeah. Back to Daydream Believer, Carole King wrote that, and it looks like.
All right. Well, interesting there. I know, man. I know she definitely earned a lot of royalties when that song got remixed and became a hit again.
Oh, no, I'm wrong.
Oh.
According to that, Carole King and Jerry Goffin wrote Pleasant Valley Sunday,
Oh, really? Interesting. Wow.
and Jon Stewart wrote Daydream Believer.
And John Stewart. I think that's the guy who was one of the members of the Kingston Trio. I do believe he was at one point.
Believe so. Anne Murray covered Daydream Believer too.
Yep. And by the way, you remember that song that Stewart came out in 1979 called
Oh,
Gold?
Gold.
Yes.
And do you know who the backup singer was on that song?
Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood
There
Mac.
you got it.
Yep. Oh
Yep.
gosh, that song was running amok over the airwaves, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Damn.
Okay,
God.
let's get to Marilyn Manson. I guess.
Yeah, definitely. We got to talk about him there. There, we got
So
to.
I know nothing about that story.
Yeah, I would first when I first heard about it, I had to make a video about the whole thing there, which got gained a lot of views. Thank you to everybody who commented and gave their perspective about the whole thing there. Marilyn Manson, as you know, was accused by actress Evan Rachel Wood about weeks back of sexual and other physical abuse there, and he was definitely four other women, as you know, came out and said he did the same thing to them as well. Manson's ex-fiancee, actress Rose McGowan, she supports Wood and those four other women, even though she was not sexually abused herself by Manson. But her being an advocate for the Me Too movement for the past couple of years, she is, as I mentioned, she's lended her support to these women as well. And now, I found out on Twitter a couple of days ago, I wanted to bring it up here, that now word of the investigation just came about 3 weeks after Wood's accusations became public. Now, detectives are investigation. This is from the HuffPost.com here. Detectives are investigating allegations of domestic violence against rocker Marilyn Manson involving incidents that occurred about a decade ago in West Hollywood, according to authorities. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Special Victims Bureau, SVU over there, I guess it's called, opened the investigation after a woman approached authorities to report the allegations. Sheriff's Lieutenant John Adams said the incidents reportedly occurred between 2009 and 2011 when Manson was living in the city of West Hollywood. He said, quote, "Our people are just in the very beginning stages of an investigation into this." But he would not describe the allegations or say when the woman came forward with this. Now, word of this investigation came less than 3 weeks after actress Evan Rachel Wood accused Manson publicly, her ex-fiancee, Rose McGowan, of sexual abuse and physical just as well, alleging that she was manipulated into submission during their time together. Now, Adams declined to identify the woman who contacted Sheriff's Department as in typical of most domestic violent cases.
Right.
Now, Manson, who by the way is 52, has denied Wood's allegations as horrible distortions of reality. Now, Wood, who stars in Westwood, currently running on HBO, spoke about being abused in a relationship but didn't name that person until this February 1st. And of course, the statement she said, "The name of my abuser is Brian Warner, also known as Marilyn Manson. He started grooming me when I was a teenager and horrifically abused me for years." Remember, she was 19 and he was 34 when they started going out together.
Right.
It became public in 2007 when he was, as I mentioned, 38, she was 19, and they were briefly engaged in 2010 before calling it off. Now, Manson, of course, has stated, "My intimate relationships has always been considered consensual with like-minded partners," and blah, blah, blah. Now, in
Yeah.
2018, LA County prosecutors declined to file charges against Manson over allegations of assault, battery, and sexual assault dating to 2011 say they were limited by statutes of limitations and a lack of corroboration. The accuser in that case was identified only as a social acquaintance of Manson. He denied allegations throughout to his attorney at the time. The lawyer could not be reached for comment at this time. And the Associated Press here does not normally name people who say they were victims of sexual assault, but they did name Wood because of her decision to speak out publicly.
Right.
Yeah. Now, with all this coming out, along with what happened with Bill Cosby, Jesse James, which is, of course, Sandra Bullock's ex-husband there. I guess he was starting, and of course with the cheating allegations between James and Tiger Woods, with Harvey Weinstein. It's like, it makes you wonder: are these are these celebrities taking advantage of their fame?
Seems like it, doesn't it?
And also, like, is this like a secret fetish that Manson has? We discussed the Bill Cosby's secret fetish for drugging women and sexually taking advantage of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the heck? What is up with this guy? It's just,
I know
but at the same time, we enjoyed Manson's music back in the day. I've yet to even hear any of his current stuff as of late because he was on an independent label, and most indie labels don't really get their stuff out there to every record store that's out there. Nowadays, of course, now we stream live on YouTube and everything other this site and that site there. Of course, now, by the way, he's been dropped by his record label, because of these allegations,
Yeah, because they've got a clause in most of their contracts covering that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and let's not forget his bass player and best friend, Twiggy Ramirez. He got let go from the band because rape allegations from a former member of the group, Jack Off Jill. She was a female, stated that Ramirez, who also spent time with the group of Perfect Circle for a while there.
Right.
She made allegations that Twiggy took advantage of her in a non-consenting form. And it's like, it makes you wonder, what the fuck is going on here with these musicians and all these celebrities doing all this shit?
Well, it kind of, in a way, dates back to the days early when they could do that and get away with it.
Yeah. Like, bands like Aerosmith could date underage girls, like Jimmy Page. You remember the book Hammer of the Gods?
Yeah, but I hadn't read it.
I remember there was this story there that in the part of that book, it stated that a 14-year-old model had a sexual liaison with Jimmy Page at that time. And at that time, none of this could have been revealed. Otherwise, Zeppelin would have been deported right then and there.
Yeah.
That would have got you in big trouble.
Absolutely.
And there was also stories of Steely Tyler, this rock star, that rock star being involved with underage girls at that time. But then again, at that period, girls were willing to lie about their age to get involved with the rock star of their choice. Like you remember the Rob Lowe sex tape back in '88?
Yeah.
He was apparently the girl that he apparently banged in that tape was apparently underage. But then again, that girl may have lied about her age, as I mentioned, to get with Rob Lowe.
Yeah. There's a lot of that happens, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it's not usually mostly the celebrity that's at fault here. But then again, probably usually somebody that's close to the woman there, probably say, hey, you can make a lot of money if you report this rock star or this celebrity to the authorities there. You could gain a lot of fame there. You gain a lot of sympathy, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times, a lot of these people have done that for the past couple years.
Yeah. And they continue to get away with that kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I know. But we'll have to wait and see what goes on here. But it's just like kind of startling, when you hear about this kind of stuff. It's like if you were a big Manson head back in the 90s when Antichrist Superstar was the big thing at that time, whether it's Holy Wood or Mechanical Animals, songs like, The Dope Show or The Beautiful People. It's like it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, was I supporting a rapist at this time or what?
Yeah.
Or this, because you never know. He may have had this idea, they to do these to these women for a long while now.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, it's kind of the pendulum swings the other way.
I know.
One way it was this, and now it's this, and you get caught on whichever end of the pendulum you're on.
Yeah, but when I made a video that about this subject, there one person commented, "Whose side are you on in the case between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp?" I just said neither. It was a toxic relationship where the fucking word go.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
again,
but a lot of times.
and it's kind of funny. And then in that particular case, the one that does getting the finger pointed at is Amber Heard, the woman for a change, because of the story about Johnny Depp's finger being cut for apparently her doing something to his hand or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And another thing I want to ask is that, is there a chance by that Manson grew up in an abusive household?
A lot of times that's true.
That's true. Take for example, Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. He was. It's no secret now that he was sexually abused by both his birth father and his stepfather as well.
Wow.
And he grew up in an abusive household just as well, which explains a lot of the crazy shit that he did throughout the 80s and 90s there.
Yeah, to a degree.
Absolutely.
Because there's some people that outgrow that and don't react.
Mm-hmm. I guess, if I understand, he got lots of therapy during the Use Your Illusion tour around 1991, which probably explained why he was late to all those shows when you think about it there.
Yeah.
And but when you overcome when you come from an abusive situation like that, you could have two routes. You can choose to go along with it because that's what you grew up learning, or you could fight it.
Right, right.
And when we think, I can't help but throw other musicians as well. It has been very bad boys as of late because, well, not as of late. We all know the story of Ike Turner, what he did to his ex-wife Tina when they were together making records and touring.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, it's I cannot really comment on it. I cannot really take sides. So we're just gonna let the law enforcement handle it from here. And if it is proven that Marilyn Manson did these things to all these women, then, like I said,
they didn't pay.
He's gonna pay. Shame on him for doing this. And right now I'm thinking of a Facebook friend of mine who lives in Iceland currently with her boyfriend. She was a big obsession with Marilyn Manson. She had. She got on stage with him when when Manson played the Download Festival in England there one time there. It was videotaped, and it was shown on Facebook as well. And I wonder, what is she thinking about all this? Does she take Manson's side, or is she believe in what Evan Rachel Wood is saying?
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one, actually.
It is,
You don't know the whole stories. You don't know if someone's trying to get it at someone or what the deal is. Now, in Cosby's case, that was easy because, it's hard to argue with 50-plus women.
That's true, yeah, because there was a lot. Shout out to Minnesota Vikings fan and the Super Bowl hunter in the chat here. What's up, guys?
Yeah. Good to see y'all.
All right, good. Glad you're listening, dudes.
Okay, and both of us are going to pass on the message to people that haven't done so yet.
Yep.
Subscribe. Make comments.
Yep. Leave us suggestions, folks.
And if you got your own list, put your own list in there. I'd like to see it.
Definitely. Let us know what you want us to do profiles on, song suggestions, artist suggestions, let us know. You could contact me on my Skype or my Twitter page. You contact Arknolia at the comments section. Do you have a Twitter, by the way?
Yeah, but nobody's following me.
Oh, I think I'm following you. Am I following you by chance? If I do,
I think last time I looked, I had 0 followers.
all right, I'll definitely give you a follow. That's for sure, man.
I don't ever do anything, but it's. I do have a Twitter. I do have.
Hmm.
It'll come to me.
All right.
Um, I can't even think of what it was I was going to say.
Facebook.
I did. Well, I do have that, but not under this name.
Oh, okay.
I do have Skype.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Obviously, I'm using it,
Yeah, definitely.
and I have my channel,
Yep.
which is Arknolia Strucklebean.
Yep. Yeah, definitely subscribe to him and give him suggestions and comments on his videos there, by the way.
Yeah, and we're going to do the 60s again on our next one, which our next one's going to be.
I think it's tomorrow night since let me get this here. Let me check here. Because, like I said, I'm working Monday through Thursday. I'll be starting early in the morning. So I'll be happy having time to do some shows later on there.
Maybe we can get through the 60s.
Yeah, maybe
Because
so.
we're actually still going to be in the 60s when
All
we
right.
do the next one.
All right, so tomorrow I'm working till 5 p.m. there. So probably when I get done there, if I'm taking the Uber, I definitely we could probably start our next show at 6:30 by chance. Keeping the hour as
Okay.
always.
Yeah, just kind of let me know.
All right, gotcha, and I'll let you know during lunchtime. Definitely tomorrow.
Okay.
And on Tuesday I'm working till 4 p.m. So that'll be good as well. They have a lot of time to set things up there,
Yeah.
and so on and so on there. Okay, so I guess that'll be it for the time being there. Definitely close the show for this evening here, and I guess our next program will be part 4. Definitely.
Of the 60s, which will also be number 28.
Yep, 28. I'm gonna set up when I get done here. I'm gonna clean the kitchen, and definitely get things set up here for tomorrow night.
Alrighty, sounded good.
All right, there. So we'll see you possibly tomorrow night at 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern there, and definitely we'll catch you all tomorrow night for sure, man. Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
And talk to you later.
All right. For
Uh,
Arknolia and myself, this is Arknolia and the Doctor, Music Memories, episode 27. Everybody have a good week ahead of you. Bye bye, and stay safe.